Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Dear authors and session chairs, welcome to Technical Session 4E. My name is Amok Dhamdere, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 11th edition of the International Congress on Information and Communication Technology, ICICT 2026. The 11th conference is being held in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held yesterday in London, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom from the 25th to the 27th of February 2026. I hope all of you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we have 6 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentation and 2 to 3 minutes for the questions and answers. On completion of 10 minutes, I will be raising a gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you stay connected until the closing remarks. If you have any queries or updates, you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we start the session, I would now like to introduce our session chair for this session, Dr. Faisal Kader. Dr. Faisal Kader is an adjunct professor at the University of Maryland and an industry leader in artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. He is the president and co-founder of Technuf, United States. He currently serves as the chief Gen AI and Zero Trust Network Cloud Officer at Nibsys. With deep expertise in cybersecurity, AI, and zero trust networking, Dr. Kader bridges academia and industry to advance next generation secure and intelligent systems. Sir, I welcome you to this session and request you to give your opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your kind words, and thank you. I'm Faisal Kader, coming from University of Maryland in the U.S. So good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to chair this session. We have 6 great topics that we're going to be covering. So welcome, everyone, and looking forward to getting started on those presentations. Thank you.
Our second session chair, unfortunately, hasn't joined yet, so we can start with the presentations right ahead.
Okay. All right.
So our first presenter, please go ahead,
ahead.
sir.
No, go ahead. You're gonna announce, so I thought
Oh,
I was
okay.
gonna. Yeah, go
No
ahead.
worries, sir. So our first presenter for today is Shailja Khosla from Amity University, India. And the title of the paper is Artificial Intelligence and Legal Transformation in Eurasia. Ma'am, I request you to kindly unmute and start presenting. Okay, I think she hasn't joined yet, so we can go right ahead. Our next presenter is Agniha Grazina from the University of Latvia, and the title of the paper is Change Management and Communication in Retail Pharmacy. Ma'am, I request you to unmute and start presenting.
Yes, hello, everybody. Yes, I will share just someone else is sharing, so I send request and yeah. So, colleagues, do you see my presentation, please?
No.
Ma'am, I don't think your screen has been shared.
Just a minute, I'm very sorry. So just a minute, share. So screen, yeah. Just a minute. Ah.
You have the access to share the screen, right? The permission? Yeah, there it is. It's coming up. Good.
Your screen is visible, ma'am. You can start.
Yep.
Yes. So yes, I'm Agnia from University of. So now you see presenter screen or just sorry, what you see, colleagues?
Presenter screen actually we're seeing.
Your
Presenter
presentation
view.
is visible,
It's
ma'am.
presenter view. It's presenter view, Agni.
Presenter view. Okay, let's go back. I'm very sorry. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maruta. Yes, Maruta also is participating in this conference together with me. We are PG students in Latvian University. And today I will tell about my paper, Change Management, our paper, Change Management and Communication in Retail Pharmacy. How structured communication and this consumer behavior insights drive sustainable transformation in retail pharmacy organizations here in Baltic states. A sector under transformation. Retail pharmacy is expanding beyond traditional dispensation into digital services, personalized engagement, and integrated healthcare. That trends are not just worldwide, but also now in Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Digitalization, evolving consumer expectations and regulatory pressures demand continuous organizational adaptations. That's why internal challenges, I would like to point out, employee resistant, role ambitious, and workload pressures. External challenges, shifting consumer confidence and competitive pressure, and core enable a structured, transparent, ICT supported communication. It's and aim of this research is to study and analyze how communication supported by ACT and informed by consumer behavior trends influences the efficiency of change management in the retail pharmacy organizations. Regarding communication as a core change capability, I would like to say that communication is not merely supportive. It links employee engagement, leadership efficiency, and consumer experience in pharmacy retail. Transparent and dialogic. Employees adopt new processes when communication is continuous and allows feedback. Internal external alignments. Misalignment between internal and customer facing messaging erodes brand credibility. And continuous statement, strategical internal communication reduces uncertainty and supports employee engagement during transformation. ACT as an enabler of change communication by Nielsen Shopper Trends in 2024 confirms that store mobile applications are the most frequently used information source among Baltic shoppers, making mobile the primary digital touchpoint for change communication. And regarding internal tools and external channels, yes, intranets, dashboards, messaging platforms, enabling prompt updates and feedback collection. And regarding external channels, websites, social media, e-prescription platforms, maintaining customer trust during these changes. Regarding pharmacy strengths and weaknesses, again by Nielsen Pharmacy Shopper Study 2025, online interviews in the March 2025 across all Latvian cities in adults from 18 till 75 says that strong digital presence, promotional activity, and self-service options enhance visibility and short-term attractiveness. Regarding gain and fragile when interpersonal service or pharmacist trust receives weaker evaluation, and key insight sustainable performance requires integration ACT-driven innovation with human-centered communication. And regarding Baltic Consumer Optimism Index from Nielsen Consumer Trends 2025, in Lithuania is 94. Strong optimism supports innovation and premium offerings. In Latvia, 77. Moderate, stable, suits incremental change, and in Estonia, 68. Declining demands and also transparency. These communication strategies across all Baltic markets are unlikely to be effective. Regarding economic confidence and consumers, global are 72% confident in own economic future, 55% markedly low than global average, and 42 in Latvia, highest among Baltic states. Estonia, 37, lowest confidence in all Baltic states. It's from Nielsen Consumer Data 2025. Low confidence highlights value, reliability, and service continuity. And conclusions. Baltic consumer optimism requires this communication tone and content, not a one-size-fits-all approach. And regarding multi-channel strategy, mobile apps leads digital engagement, but traditional formats remain essential for broad accessibility. And beyond communication alone, high brand awareness cannot compensate for pricing disparities. So change innovatives must align with pricing, promotion, and frontline service quality. So all together just can reach the best results. And recommendations are the change-driven, integrate consumer confidence indicators and shopper behavior insights into internal and external strategies, prioritize ICT tools, lead with mobile application and digital channels. Yes, maintain traditional formats for these different customer segments and tailor to local markets, adapt tone and content to national optimism levels in Estonia and innovate in Lithuania. Align with frontline reality, integrate staff feedback, ensure change communication aligns with pricing, promotion, and service delivery. Thank you very much. And yes, I will stop sharing. Yes, colleague, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you. There's one, I think on the third slide, it says the declining demands. Can you explain that a little bit, like, in what way?
Sorry,
If you
I
can
very
you
bad.
share the screen one more time if you don't mind?
Just yes. Yeah. Do you see my screen, please?
Not yet. It's okay. I mean, we can talk. So this transformation in the demand. So basically, the internet, the mobile platform, that's one of the most prevalent medium of this transformation. Is that correct?
Sorry, I don't hear you. I'm very
Oh, you're not
audio.
able to
Just
hear me? Can you hear me now?
could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, I mean, it's a general question. So this change management transformation in the communication side. So basically, you're saying the internet, the social media, that makes a big impact, I believe, correct?
Yes,
In
it
the
makes big
mobile
impact
platform.
at the moment. Yeah.
Is there any other medium that you have tried and see how that is compared with the social media? What is the other kinds of change
Other
management and
media.
transformation? Yeah.
Of course, we tried also CRM channels. We tried not only social media. We tried all ATL channels and BTL channels and outdoors and other all media. Yes, but
Okay.
at the moment, most strongest impact comes from the social media. Yeah.
Sure, sure. And since it's a pharmacy centric, change management, is there a correlation with the age group? Like, if it's the elderly people, I think they're
Um.
not as inclined to use mobile as the young generation, right? So is there any
Um.
challenges that you had to face for that?
This time, not just in Baltics but also worldwide, pharmacies are selling not just prescription medicine, not just OTC medicine, but also
Mhm.
personal care, food supplements, commodities. Yes, I think that we should think more about assortment, about diversification. Yes, about these. New strategies, yes, because of course prescription medicament mostly are for seniors, mostly are for persons 50 plus, yes, but if we would like to talk with youngest persons, and of course there will be not enough with communication channels, yes, and communication and digitalization, but also with assortment and products, yes, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, like, it's irrespective of the age. It's pretty much demand in every population,
Mm.
in Latvia and other places. Okay. Let's see, transformation. Okay. So the Nielsen you quoted, so that was the source of your data set. Is that how you captured your data?
Yes, I analyze Nielsen's data
Uh-huh.
results and also companies' local results, CRM data results, yes, and
Uh-huh.
local researches results, and of course all are these integrated results.
Sure, sure. Okay. All right. I think that's all my questions, and thank you so much. Great presentation, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. So our previous presenter has joined us, so we can have a presentation. The presenter is Shailja Khosla from the Amity University in India, and the title of the paper is Artificial Intelligence and Legal Transformation in Eurasia. Ma'am, I request you to unmute and start presenting.
Good evening. Thank you, Amok sir. Am I audible? Hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Thank you, Faisal sir. Thank you, ICICT. Really much gratitude and for this opportunity and platform. Also, my first association with ICICT. It's a global platform. And I wanted to share my screen, but share screen just.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, ma'am. There is just a small issue. Uh, just a request for Dr. Kader. Sir, you
Yes.
are clearly audible, but it seems that your voice is a little bit low.
Yes,
So can
yes.
you please fix it?
Can you hear me now? Is that
Can you
okay?
speak once more, please?
Hello, check, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
No?
you're perfectly audible now, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Was I audible in the first session?
You were clearly
Little
audible,
bit,
but just your
yes.
voice was a little bit low. So that's why.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, I'm
I
good now.
wanted to share my screen, but I'm unable to share the document actually. Mm.
Just a second, ma'am.
If you have my paper, would you be grateful to open it up and show it?
Sure, ma'am. Is there any presentation that you have? You can share it with me.
I
I
do.
can
My paper
present it.
is my presentation only.
Oh, okay. Just a second, ma'am. I'll figure out a way to how you can share it to me.
I'm really trying it here, but I think share screen is not opening that window. Document sharing is not being. Window, Chrome tab. Is it visible now?
Yes.
It is visible now, ma'am.
All right. So this paper is in pursuance of my PhD topic, right? I have been a PhD scholar. Also, I'm teaching international law in India, in Noida. And it's the PhD is about the enforcement of international humanitarian law in Eurasia in recent international armed conflicts. And it is one of the factor that in my research came to the knowledge that how AI is being in association today with the international or even non-international armed conflicts that has been taking around the world, not only in the aggressive mode AI's involvement is there, but also defensive. And in the recent international armed or even wars, one cannot deny that AI is being involved, right? So it is also posing one of the challenge today of with regard to the international humanitarian law, right? About the implementation of the law when it comes in association and also get influenced and entangled in the AI realm, right? And recent research knowledge is being developed on the AI models and how it is influencing, and the law is not a way out. Law is also being one of the field where AI is being influenced, especially also in today's wars. So my paper is with the this intersectionality and overlapping of the AI and machine learning, sensory, imaginary, satellite use, intelligence model, and how the data is being can be utilized for to reduce the possibility of the damage in the armed conflicts that is taking place all over the world, and also how the other country can take place and charge its mode or its operation with regard to how if we figure it out how the enemy country or the enemy group is targeting, right? So this paper is with regard to interaccumulation of both knowledge that we have AI and the international law. And for that methodology, a model has also been used here, which is a random model, right? Which is being used in areas where high density or medium density forces are being operative. If we look at the international non-state agencies like United Nations, International Committee of Red Cross, then they are also in opinion that uh, pro that AI should be and can be utilized today uh, with respect to how we can take action. My video is not, it's not available. Anyways, how we can take charge of aggressively or defensively reply to the enemy forces, and also how we can save the populations with regard to reducing lesser the human rights violations. So many non-state agencies and even state agencies also are deploying many models and AI tools like machine learning, and sensory objects, and other AI tools and mechanisms that can be used for both the purposes with regard to how we can have the lesser chance of depopulizing, and also we can prepare our action and then challenge how our actions could be towards the other enemies, right? So these models have been developed. It's a random, it's being used also in the other research areas of AI, research, random model, which can be used in highly densely populated or even medium densely populated areas. It is also being currently practically explored in the areas of Ukraine, Russia, armed conflict, and also in European and other Israel, Palestine, Western Asian aspects, with respect to how machine learning can be used to synthesize the data about what the enemy is targeting, and how we can prepare our next mode of action with respect to the where the more casualties could take place, right? International criminal law is one area which is being synthesized here with the AI. So, international criminal law is an area of law where the countries of the world have decided to set up some common rules with respect to lesser down the size of the human rights violations, whether committed in war crimes or genocide or aggression or crimes against humanity. And I have found out that uh, the AI and the knowledge about the research that we are having it from AI today, it's not just only diluting or transferring from law or social sciences to other aspects like machine learning, but it is also broadening. It is exceeding today or even filling up the research gap, that why particular area of international law, or why the armed conflicts today are on the rise and keep on rising it, and what are the challenges, what are the factors that we are dealing with. And from 1940s until date, even some machine learning, some machine tools were being used, but at a very lesser degree during the Second World War also. But now today at a very larger and very corporatist ideologies are also behind it, right? The research gaps of the law are being widened. The research knowledge and the data we are collecting today about the weapons and the technologies overlapping with each other and not aloof, that is one area. And how AI can be used as a methodology to understand the country's reasoning, or even the rationality, or how we can go about our next policy or our next course of actions. So, United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, in the paper, I have cited the example, International Committee of Red Cross is taking cue of these AI models and studying if they could be implemented in these areas, and they are being implemented in these areas where there is more deterioration of the population. In the recent armed conflicts, we can generate more reliable data, and we can able to figure it out what could be and how could be we go about reducing the casualties, right? So this random forest model is has been effective in identifying the conflict, the level of the conflict, how much casualties, or what type of conflict, what type of action the country is taking, and then how we could have the other side of the countries can prepare and go about to reduce or defense mode with respect to the conflict or the international problems in terms of the armed conflicts, right? And after studying these data, these methods, we can see that how we can prepare before or during the war data, and maybe shift the populations or maybe increase the size of the troops, let's say for example, by using AI models or implementing the AI model in a particular area of these armed conflicts, and see that we are able to produce a defensive, really important instrumental course of action against which have been used. These conflict models have been used in Ukraine, Gaza, or even Azerbaijan and Armenia area, have been also very much currently utilized and being consulted by, as I said, the non-state international agencies and also by the states in the world today. So thank you so much, ICICT. This is my topic for today. Really grateful for this opportunity. Any questions I would love to take.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's a pretty interesting topic. So, what you're saying is it's mainly for the Eurasia, but then you also tried this
It is
model.
being used, it is being used, or it is being adopted, or there are the effects of this model in Palestine or
Hmm.
Armenia, even Eastern European or Middle East
So it's
areas.
been worldwide, basically. You can
So it is not just
put this.
the doctrinal area would be
Uh-huh.
ICL, my international law and
Right.
international criminal law, but
Uh-huh.
then the practical research aspect would be from the AI.
Right. So again, different countries have different legalities and the laws are
Yes,
different.
sir.
So how robust this model would be to apply to other, different legalese from the other countries? Is it going to
Very
be?
important question, very good
Yeah.
question.
Mm-hmm.
So, today, worldwide, we are looking at the two things. First, that there is a lack of the global will, the
Uh-huh.
lack of the will from the countries of the world, like mostly the countries we think could generate some good instrumental, practical solutions. But as far as the AI is there, I
Mm-hmm.
believe that there is some low level consensus. Some voices are there all over the world. Now, these voices could be more high intensity from America, Europe, and not so much intensity. That is why I said high intensity and low intensity voices. And
Yeah.
maybe AI is not such a bad or the bad rep it has got in country like I am from India. So yeah, a lot of
Right.
things are going on in India. But
Uh-huh.
maybe AI or machine learning could be really helpful or beneficial positively in next coming 5 years, 10 years, with respect to reduce the casualties at least. We cannot negate the possibility of wars or the differences, but yes, maybe some tools or some methodology that can reduce the depopulation or can help into saving of the people. I think if that is your question.
Right, right. No, that's very well said, Ms. Khosla. One thing that, next time when you present, if you could just summarize in a PowerPoint presentation, I think that would be
Yes,
good. But
and really my apologies for that.
no, 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 that's okay. It's a great paper, but that would have been more attractive actually. So, okay, so the international law
Is there
as
any
it's
more feedback that I can add into my research?
no, I mean, like, you're saying the only thing is you're saying it's in Eurasia, so that's what made me think that how internationalized this particular model would be. So AI, you may have to tweak a little bit. One other question I had was the source of data. Like, how did you capture the data? For this kind of research.
I've been trying to use some research online repository material. Some articles have been used, studied from various online sources that have been utilized. And as far as the international criminal law goes on, so
Yeah.
that is to lot of research material right now is available from my PhD research.
Okay.
And also, like practically, I tell you one thing to add on is we are getting moot problems, or we are getting situations where law students, or for example, the international moot court competitions, even the United Nations are giving the criminal liability of the AI, or the some robotic things that were being used. Now whose liability is to put it on? Because again, as you said, that uniformity, and
Yeah.
again, even from the European countries, if even in America, I don't know how much consensus uniformity is there. So
Yep. Yep. That could be one challenge actually, but yeah. Very well said. Okay, no, thank you so much, Ms. Khosla. Good job.
thank
Good
you,
work.
Faisal sir, for your very enlightening feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. So our next presenter is Ronak Kumar Patel from the Charotar University of Science and Technology in India. The title of his paper is Deep Feature Fusion of ResNet 50 v2 and Inception v3 for computer-aided retinal disease classification. Sir, I request you to unmute and start presenting.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are, sir.
My screen is visible.
It's visible, sir. You can start.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. So, the title is Deep Feature Fusion of ResNet 50 v2 model and Inception v3 for computer-aided retinal disease classification. And my co-authors are Bhakti, Trusa, and Nikita. We are from Charotar University in Gujarat, India. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So this is the table of content. So we'll start with introduction, motivation, then proposed methodology, then we'll go with the result and analysis, and I will conclude my work, and then the references. Hello, I'm just having some voice from background.
No, sir. It's clearly audible.
Okay. So the retinal damage affects the light sensitivity of retina and which is responsible for vision. And disease like glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, and some age-related uh, disorder that leads to the blindness. And this is the major cause in adult for retinal disease. The manual diagnosis using fundus image is time consuming, and it requires the expertise, and it may possible to some case might be miss out due to initial stages. So we are coming with the computer-aided diagnosis system, which uses the deep learning, and it improves the accuracy, speed, and reliability in this retinal disease detection. So what is the motivation behind this? So these retinal diseases are the major cause of vision loss worldwide, and early detection is essential to prevent this permanent blindness. Manual diagnosis of retinal images is time consuming and increase the workload on ophthalmologists because there is a step-by-step process which they need to follow medically. Here we are not claiming that it is replacing the process of ophthalmologist, but it helps the ophthalmologist to find this in early stages. We are coming up with the single deep learning model, one models that captures all important retinal features effectively and help to classify, means whether it has a retinal disease or not. Then what we have done, we have taken two effective deep learning models which have proven in the feature visual feature extraction, that is ResNet 50 V2 and Inception V3 model. Both had their advantage in extracting the visual features. And after extracting those visual features, what we have done, we have using those features, we have trained the network to classify, and we have used as a retinal disease classification. Okay, so this is our proposed approach model. And once we are giving the input image, slide is visible, right?
Yes, yes, it
Yes,
is.
sir, it's
Okay.
visible.
So we are giving the fundus image of the retina. Once we give that, we pre-process it as per the model requirements, that is the size of the image and all. We normalize this, and then to train the model, as we are using the transfer learning approach, we are taking the pre-trained model. But to fine-tune that pre-trained model, we are performing some augmentation, so we get more data for this. And once we have this data, what we do, we give this data to both the model, Inception V3 model and ResNet 50 model. We are giving this image to both the model. The feature will be extracted from both the models. Once we have those visual features, what we do, we will concat those features. So now the feature that we have, it is the concatenation of this both the model. Now on top of this, we have our fully connected layer, which has a dense layer, normalization, some dropout we have applied as we don't want that our model overfits. And then we train this model as a classification task. Once this fine-tuning task is over, we can use this model to predict by giving a new image whether there is a chance of retinal disease or not. And once if it is identified, then that patient need more care or more medical assistance to find out that whether it is a right or not. So we don't want to miss out any patient that is having initial stage of this disease and which may lead to a blindness in future. So the evaluation metrics that we have used to check our model, that is precision recall and F1 score, which is generally used for classification task. And the result of our model, this is the hybrid model, that is our proposed model. And we have also checked with the individual model as well, with the Inception V3 and ResNet 50 model. So you can see the precision of our hybrid model, that is not that much difference, but yes, this difference in medical domain is good. So we got the 0.87 precision compared to the Inception V3, which has a 0.84, and ResNet 50, which has 0.83. Though recall of ResNet 50 is high, but if we consider this precision recall, which the F1 score, which is the harmonic mean of this precision and recall, and we measure the model performance with that, we can see the hybrid and proposed approach model that is showing a improvement compared to the previous two approach, that is using only Inception V3. The second approach using only is ResNet 50, and third one, that is our proposed approach. So this fusion that enhance the classification accuracy of this ResNet disease classification. So the conclusion of my work is the hybrid model that we have combined and come up with, it is outperformed with individual models. The future fusion that we have used the concatenation that improve the precision while maintaining the high recall compared to the Inception, not Inception, ResNet, but and it reduced the false positive without losing the sensitivity. And the model, it shows the strong generalization with consistent training and testing performance. We have trained in different scenarios, and we see that the model is robust, means giving the same kind of behavior. And in our future work, we include the large data set, adding expression AI, means why this decision is given or why this prediction is given. So that thing we will come up. We also try to include other meta information like history of the patient, other metadata that is available. That we will try to include this thing, and they will go with the medical trial. That right now we are dealing with some data, but actually in medical, when we go with then at that time how the system works, so that thing also we want to find out. So this way we have designed this our research task. So thank you everyone. So this is my references. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So one question I have, so this is the sooner we diagnose this and get those
Yes.
images, the better, right? So early detection is the key. So
Hmm.
how do you define early detection? Like, within a year, within 2 years, or what's the duration? Like, when do we set up the threshold? It's a little too late to use this model because, we're at the last stage or something.
Yes. Yeah. So early detection means we are not right now telling or we have not put that threshold, such kind like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, right? If some patient has diabetic and some like the diabetes level increase suddenly, so that impact will be more on the retinal disease. So we are not putting in that sense, but what we are right now taking call is, if you have fundus image of your retina, then if some medical professional might miss out that thing because of some minor uh, feature in the image, so that we want that should not be missed out by any of the medical professional. So we are targeting that thing.
Okay, I see. And in the model comparison, I see that hybrid is the way to go between the two model. How do you set that up? What is like? How do you mix both models into a hybrid model to do this testing? Can you elaborate that a little bit?
Okay. Yes, sir. So what we have seen the papers in which they are using the transfer learning approach with the one kind of model. So we have also tried with this different models, and like VGG16, VGG19 and all. and we came up with the different results. And in some of the papers of means other disease classification and other medical domain, they have fused these models to get this extra means to improve the efficiency of model in classification task. So we thought that let's apply those things in this retinal disease as well. So that's why we have fused these two model, and we have fused the features of the model, the visual feature extracted by both the model Inception V3 and ResNet model. So those features we have fused, and for the fusion we have just used the concatenation layer. We have just concatenated it, and then those extracted feature, we have put it into the neural network.
I see. Okay, that's good. Okay, if anyone else has any question, if not, I'm good. But it's a good topic, good project.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. So our next speaker will be Zai Zogrekar from the Symbiosis International Deemed University in India, and the title of her paper is Integrating Artificial and Spiritual Intelligence in Corporate Communications to Enhance Corporate Leadership. Ma'am, I request you to kindly unmute yourself and start presenting.
Thank you, Amol. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, ma'am.
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. I'll just share my screen. Thank you, Federal sir. Um, is my screen visible?
It's
Not
loading.
yet. It's visible now. You can start.
Okay. Is it? Okay. Okay. Fine. So, good afternoon, everyone. And today I will be presenting on my paper, which is named as the Impact of Corporate Communication Strategies and Spiritual Intelligence, Spiritual Leadership on Organizational Transformation. So, these are a few of my co-authors, which we have had a team and we have worked on this together. So, introducing this topic and this overall study, we all have known that artificial intelligence is nowadays rising. But at the same time, we should not forget that artificial intelligence has a huge base of human intelligence. And the holistic human intelligence deals with three pillars, which is the cognitive, emotional, and spiritual quotient. So that the holistic human intelligence has evolved over the years. We know much about. There is a lot of research about the cognitive and the emotional intelligence, but let me just introduce this novel topic or the novel side which we have not yet explored so much, which is the spiritual intelligence. And this research will basically focus on the domain of corporate communications and how both of these integrations of spiritual intelligence and corporate communication will help in the organizational transformation. So even the factor of change management into the new era, it will also be included in this study. This study is going to have a few objectives which I would like to focus on. And the first objective is basically, examining the role of corporate communication strategies and how they facilitate the transformation process in organizations. Then it also has an objective of analyzing the spiritual leadership's influence on your employee readiness and overall attitudes and employee behavior. Also, we can study a lot of industrial psychology domain through this objective, and that's why I felt this would be very great to consider in this conference. It will also investigate the effects of corporate communication strategies and spiritual leadership. Obviously, two of the variables compared, and a correlation kind of thing will be worked out. And that's all about the basic objectives. And to dig into the hypothesis, we have a basic level, because this topic is so novel that not much of research is still being done. So, on the initial level, we are just dealing with analysis of the relationship between these variables. So, corporate communication and spiritual leadership will be the variables, and of course, the impacts on organizational transformation. Going ahead with the research methodology, my design is both, like it will be having a blend design, and it will be having analysis of the primary data which has been obtained through online offline both the sources, and the majority we have the sample size of corporate communication departments, like the frontline departments, the frontline managers, and people who have the front office roles, or maybe the HR roles or the people centric roles. So these kind of corporate designations have been involved in the samples, and also it is 100 samples for this thing. Do a like relatively detailed pilot study for this, but yes, we are more trying and digging into the more detail in this study. So the secondary sources, of course, they include Scopus database as database, because I thought it would be more and more valid information could be for. And in data analysis, we have done proper SPS and or our software through descriptive analysis, and also correlation analysis, regression analysis. So these were the basic methodologies we could use for our data analysis. And also, we have made sure that all the ethical research considerations are being there, and none of the confidential data is being leaked out of it. And also, for the limitations, I would definitely say that the limited location of activity was limited to the national level, but it has a lot of scope to also have a research on an international level. So next time we would definitely be focusing on that. And these are a few of the literature reviews which I have involved. Like there are many out of these, but these are the few which are recent. And they have worked on the integration of corporate communication strategies with spiritual leadership. So these three were the base of my secondary data. uh, about the testings which we have in our findings and all. So the reliability analysis has given us the results that it is not totally like exceeding the values of 0.70, and that is why it confirmed that all the constructs will demonstrate an internal consistency, and of course they do have a like strong correlation. Of course, in the descriptive statistics, we have made sure that all the variables were we have applied R, and we have also applied SPSS for all of these. In correlation, we had the results that both of the independent variables were strongly exhibiting significant relationships. Of course, there was a positive relationship between corporate communication strategies, and we can also use spiritual leadership for the transformation process of an organization. Apart from that, we also had an ANOVA testing, so that the regression model was also being confirmed with the ANOVA testing model here. And that's all about the findings, that yes, they do significantly affect, all both the factors significantly affected organizational transformation. And in the change management, it will have a base of both the independent variables, of course. And that's all about the references. So these were the latest references which we included. And apart from that, this we also have some theoretical books and Scopus and these chapter books we have included in this. So thank you so much. I guess that's all about. It was normal topic, simple, nothing much complex. Any questions?
Yeah. No, this is good topic. So basically, this corporate leadership transformation, if you will, is there a kind of a age based, like what if somebody is a like a mid to senior level, leader, and then somebody joined like an entry level, how can that entry level person be conformed into a future leadership into this model? Is there any way to do so?
Absolutely, sir. So basically, which the models we have for the management development programs and leadership development programs that we have in all the organizations, or even in the training and development, the learning and development departments are like they are organizing leadership trainings for all these entry level people, so they can have a buddy system in the organization, and based on a buddy system where the entry level person is actually buddied with a senior level person. That kind of model can definitely work out, I think. That's my perception.
Sure, sure. And this is more geared towards small and medium business, correct? Like, so what
Absolutely,
would
sir.
be so what would be the threshold of the company size that we can use your model? Like, if it's more than, certain number of employees, then it's not going to work, or it will have challenges.
Right, right. So the let's say all the network big network brands, or company size beyond, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000 employees per unit or per company or this thing, so that would be difficult in that size of companies, of course.
Hmm.
The giants will be a problem, basically.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Okay. I think that's all my questions. If anybody else has any questions or comments.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. So the next presenter is David Ramirez from the Miami-Dade College, United States of America, and the title of his paper is Structural Redundancy in Subspace Network Coding via Atomic Decompositions. Sir, I request you to unmute and start presenting.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Ramirez. I'm going to be presenting a work on subspace coding. Our work title is a structural redundancy in subspace network coding via atomic decomposition. Random linear network coding is a powerful tool for disseminating information in non-coherent networks. In these settings, robust transmission of linear information over noisy channel is a central problem in modern communication. In this context, the information is modeled as a subspace of a larger ambient space. A transmitter is going to send a subspace, and the receiver is going to observe a possible different subspace. The decoding is about identifying which subspace was sent. However, in some scenarios, dimensional information may be insufficient to distinguish compared candidates. And this is critical when the degradation of the channel is acting directionally inside the subspace. And by this, what I mean is that the channel is changing a specific direction inside the subspace without changing the dimension. In this context, the metric used to find the distance between two subspaces is the classical distance, the one that is based in the dimension function. This function is modular, and as a consequence, two subspaces can appear equally close to a receive subspace under the classical distance, even when they differ significantly by the internal structure. And this led us to the following question: can internal subspace structure be exploited for improved discrimination? In order to solve that, we introduce a new atomic perspective on subspace coding. We define a channel that is capable of modeling this transmission at the atomic level, called the atomic operator channel. We also define a new metric that is aligned with this new approach, and then we compare it with the classical distance, and we show when the atomic metric yields to better decoding decision. The first thing that we need to know is what an atomic decomposition is. Let S be a subspace of a larger ambient space. An atomic decomposition A sub S of S is going to be a finite collection of one-dimensional subspaces, such that when we do the vector sum of all these one-dimensional subspaces, we are going to recover S. And we are going to say that this decomposition is minimal if when we remove any of these one-dimensional subspaces, we are not going to be able to recover S. We are going to call to these one-dimensional subspaces atoms. The first question that we faced was the following. If we have a subspace S in a large ambient space V over a finite field, how many minimal atomic decomposition does that subspace have? In order to solve that question, we introduce the function n that takes a subspace and return a real value that is going to be the number of minimal atomic decomposition of S. We derive a closed formula for this function as the one that you're looking at the slide. An important property of this function is that n is supermodular, which means that for all subspaces S and T, the function n satisfies that the addition of the number of minimal atomic decomposition of S and T is going to be less or equal than the number of minimal atomic decomposition of their intersection plus the number of minimal atomic decomposition of their sum. Now let's talk about the atomic operator channel. Here, a message is going to be transmitted as a subspace S. S is going to be represented through an atomic decomposition, and this atomic decomposition is going to be non-minimal. The channel is going to act on this atomic representation by doing the following. Possibly removing some atomic direction, and possibly adding new one-dimensional direction that were outside S before the transmission. And the receiver is going to observe a possible different atomic decomposition that is going to induce a possible distant subspace. And as you can see, this model captures the channel distortion at the level of atomic structure. We can see this transmission as a transformation of the set of atoms. For example, if we are sending a subspace S through an atomic decomposition A sub S, when it goes through the channel, we are going to get a possible different atomic decomposition A sub U. That is going to be A prime sub S that is going to represent the part of the subspace that was transmitted that is preserved by the channel, union the VJs. That the VJ is going to be the error induced by the channel. It's going to be all those one-dimensional subspaces that were outside S before the transmission. Of course, the residual space U is going to be the span of this new atomic decomposition. Here is a quick example to see how the atomic operator works. Let's say that we transmit a subspace through an atomic decomposition A sub S that is going to contain V1 and V2. When it goes through the first node is going to erase V2. And when it goes through a second node, it's going to insert E. As you can see, in this case, we got a different atomic decomposition A sub U. The A prime sub S that we were talking in the previous slide, in this case is V1, since it's the part of the subspace transmitter that is preserved by the channel. And the error induced by the channel is E. Now let's talk about the distance. That is one of the main contributions of our work. Let S and T be subspace of a large ambient space. We define that the distance between S and T is going to be the number of minimal atomic decomposition of S plus the number of minimal atomic decomposition of T minus 2 times the minimal atomic decomposition of the intersection. We can interpret this function as a way of measuring the divergence in atomic structure between two subspaces, and the complexity of this function is cubic. Now that we already defined the function, let's talk about the codes on this induced distance. A code C is going to be, as in the traditional approach, it's going to be another empty set of subspaces. The size of the code is going to be the cardinality of this set. And we are going to define a minimum distance of this code as the minimum possible distance between two subspaces that belong to that code. We prove a single type valve under this induced distance for constant dimension codes. But before getting to it, let's first define some notation. We are going to say that f of n is going to be the number of minimal atomic decomposition of a subspace S that has dimension n. And as you can see, for constant dimension code, that when all subspaces that belong to this code have dimension k, the distance between any two subspaces is going to be 2 times f of k minus f of the intersection. And this is because, remember that the distance between x and y is going to be the number of minimal atomic decomposition of the first one, plus the number of minimal atomic decomposition of the second one, minus 2 times the number of minimal atomic decomposition of the intersection. Since all the subspaces of this code have the same dimension, the number of minimal atomic decomposition of both is the same. So it's going to be the 2 of k minus 2 times f of their dimension. We took the 2 out and we have this expression. Now let's define S star. S star is going to be the max S that can take value from 0 to k that is going to satisfy the following inequality. And we are going to define delta sub f as k minus S star, where k is the distance of is the dimension of all subspaces inside the code. We prove the following single type bound that you're looking in the slide. Now let's go back to the transmission. We need to interpret all the atomic distortion induced by the channel in this atomic perspective. First, let's define S. S is going to be a transmitted subspace, and U is going to be the received subspace. S prime is going to represent the portion of the transmitted subspace S that is preserved by the channel. We are going to define the atomic erasure cost as the distance between S and S prime, the atomic insertion cost between the distance from U to S prime, and the total atomic error, the distance between U and S. And as I said at the beginning, these quantities provide a refined decomposition of the channel distortion at the atomic level. We proved that our metric admits a minimum distance decoder. That is going to be a decoder that, given a subspace U, is going to select the subspace that belongs to the code that minimizes the distance to U. And as in the traditional approach, we also have a condition that guarantees a minimum distance decoding. That is going to be, if 2 times the total atomic distortion induced by the channel is less than the minimum distance of the code, then S is the unit minimized to the distance to U, and the minimum distance decoder correctly recovers S. A natural question that arises in those moments was the following. We already have a minimum distance decoder that is based on the classical subspace distance, and we have a new minimum distance atomic decoder that is based on this atomic metric. How can we compare these two minimum distance decoders? So before getting to it, let's first define M1 and M2. M1 is going to be the minimum distance decoder under the classical subspace distance, and M2 is going to be the minimum distance decoder under the atomic distance. We prove the following proposition for codes that have the same dimension. Every time that M1 correctly reconstructs the transmitter code word S from the received subspace U, then M2 also correctly reconstructs S from U. And this is very important because it's showing that our minimum distance decoder is equivalent to the classical one for cosine dimension code, since they have the same successful rates. And as I said at the beginning, in some scenarios, just looking at the dimension of the subspace is not enough for identifying two subspaces, since they can differ significantly in the internal structure. And here is an example of that situation. We construct an explicit example when the minimum distance decoder that is based on the classical distance fails to recover the correct code word, and our minimum distance decoder correctly reconstructs the subspace. Let's see be a code that is going to contain the subspaces S1 and S2. S1 is going to be the span of E1 and E2, and S2 is going to be the span of E1, E2, and E3. The transmitted subspace is going to be S1, and we want to receive a subspace U that is going to be the span of E1 and E3. And as you can see in the first table, the minimum distance decoder that is based on the classical distance is going to choose S2, since it's the subspace that minimizes the distance to U. And in this case, this minimum distance decoder fails to recover the correct subspace. As you can see in the second table, the minimum distance decoder based on the metric distance recover correctly the subspace that was transmitted, the subspace S1, since it's the subspace that minimizes the distance to U. As final remarks, we propose a new atomic perspective on subspace coding, a perspective that can distinguish between candidates that look equally the same on their classical dimension on distance. And as I showed in the previous example, in certain scenarios, it can lead to better decoding decisions. This is a new approach, and there's open several natural directions for future work. At future work, we are aiming to design an explicit optimal code family for this induced distance and atomic structure. We also are aiming to develop a efficient decoding algorithm tailored to this atomic perspective, and we want to investigate how atomic redundancy impacts code rate and decoding complexity. That was all. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be very happy to answer any question.
Yeah, so one question I was looking at those algorithm, it says subspace is no minimal. What do you mean by no minimal on the subspace?
That we are representing the subspace by a non-minimal atomic decomposition. We are using redundancy in this representation. As I said at the beginning, sorry.
Right. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I said at the beginning, an atomic decomposition is going to be a finite collection of one-dimensional subspaces that when we do the vector sum of these subspaces, we recover S. And it's going to be minimal if when we remove one of these subspaces, we are going to be able to recover S. That's a minimal atomic decomposition, but we are not representing the subspace through this decomposition. We are using redundancy.
Okay, so the redundancy would be the one that, okay, I see what you're saying. And what are some of the challenges? I see there's a lot of, you know, calculative, quantitative analysis, but is there any challenges that you faced while doing this research?
Well, I think that
What are some
what
of
are
the
you mean challenge? When we were
difficulties?
doing the computation specifically,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like overall in the research?
No, kind of both. The computational, I think I see that you have got a pretty good handle, but from the overall, like the data capture, data collection, and maybe some feature extraction strategy before you apply those into your model, is there any kind of challenges that you faced?
So my work in this research was more focused on developing the mathematical framework behind everything. One of the other author, it was more focused in this application, and we're doing a simulation. Is the one that is doing now, investigating how to an algorithm to decode the subspace and all those stuff. So I cannot really tell you about that part.
Well, when you do the simulation, was it is any difficulties on that simulation?
Other simulation that one of my co-author did, we have higher percentage rate of decoding the subspaces, but as I said at the beginning, this is a new approach, and we are just using a minimum distance decoder that what it's doing is computing the distance between all subspaces and selecting the one that minimize the distance. We are aiming to develop a new algorithm that is better. But for now, that's just all that we have.
Right, right. And some of the challenge on the future work that you're gonna take care of. So that's good. Okay, I think that's all my question. Good work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. Our last speaker for today is Maruta Seere from the University of Latvia, and the title of her paper is The Impact of Private Label Brands on Product Category Management Effectiveness in Pharmacy Retail Trade. Ma'am, I request you to kindly unmute and start presenting.
So do you see my screen?
Not yet, ma'am.
What about now? Should
It's visible
see,
now.
right?
You can start.
Yeah. Yeah. My name is Maruta Šeire, and I am first year PhD student. And I'm going to present our article about the impact of private label brands on product category management effectiveness in pharmacy retail trade in Latvia. And research questions were: how do private label brands affect the effectiveness of category management in pharmacy retail? And second question, what strategies can category managers employ to increase profitability within Latvia's competitive pharmacy landscape? And methodology used. This study employed mixed method approach, combining quantitative data of sales, profit, and space from one of the largest Latvian pharmaceutical company and recent Nielsen study on shoppers' behavior. Basically, the same shopper study also was referring partly the first presenter today. This article reviews literature on private label role in assortment, pricing and promotion strategy, and positioning and space allocation. And final part of the paper presents the findings and recommendations, identifying opportunities. 4 pillars of category management are product, placement, promotion, and price. And all of these 4 pillars are essential when we are assessing category management effectiveness. And I have been looking to private labels via these 4 aspects. According to many authors' literature review, we can see that private labels are segmented and there are several tiers, and mainly there are 3 tiers used. It's basic tier, where the packaging is plain and very low quality, not low, but basic quality products, and they are around 30% cheaper than the national brands. Then is a standard or traditional tire, which is the products positioned slightly below national brands with moderate pricing. And there is third one, it's premium tire, and where products of private label are positioned similarly to leading national brands, emphasizing quality and innovation. And also regarding strategic positioning beyond price competition, there is quality. High quality private labels significantly enhance retail store loyalty, and retailers must reinforce quality perceptions at an organizational level. Also, trust and compliance. Unlike to food retailers and food private labels, pharmacy private labels require strengthened safety and efficacy standards to maintain consumer confidence. And also regarding differentiation of the strategy, only solely positioning on price is inefficient nowadays, and there are premium strategies which work in some of the categories and get competitive pricing which works in another. The next following slides incorporating the results of the Nielsen Shopper study, and it has been done last year. And the target group was females and males from 18 to 70 who have purchased from a pharmacy in the past 3 months. Total respondent number 2,200 across various cities of country of Latvia. And yeah, this research offers a foundation for business decision making throughout comprehensive quantitative data reports. Also, key findings include profiles of pharmacy shoppers and their purchasing habits, factors influencing pharmacy choice, price awareness, attitude toward promotion, and level of awareness regarding pharmacy. According to Nielsen study, there are and private label awareness in Latvia. There are 16 private labels operating in Latvian pharmacies, and 6 of them are new, which are launched in previous year. But as we can see from the slide here, only first 3 brands are having, let's say one of them has high awareness, but other 2 are medium, and then the rest of private labels have very low awareness. And shoppers are primarily recognizing their own pharmacy private label brands. The first one, Apoteka, has strong awareness, and it's mainly related to the same name of pharmacy chain name, which is helping in recognition. Following results of the Nielsen study are showing that 52% of the shoppers and respondents are aware of the pharmacy prices, and price awareness increased by 2% since previous year. Regarding primary shoppers and price switchers, it's saying that 51% of primary shoppers will change pharmacies for better pricing. Also, considering promotional importance, then we see from the studies that from the research that 59% are considering to change the pharmacy for not change, but they are seeking promotions, and this is increased by 6 percentage points since previous year, from 53 to 59. And 27% will change pharmacy for better promotion. And despite moderate awareness, actual purchase of private labels remains low, and main challenge is converting awareness into sales. And this is particularly more difficult also for newer and smaller brands. Also, promotion importance increased over the past year, notably, especially between and among women, younger shoppers with a low or middle income groups and people in specific cities, not in the capital, but outside the capital city. Also regarding space sales and profitability, which is used from one of the biggest pharmaceutical chain in Latvia, and analysis and results reveals a direct correlation between shelf space allocation, sales and profit. And the private label brand dominates across all three metrics, offering the highest profitability opportunities to the retailer comparing to national brands. However, it was also observed in analysis that some national brands showing some mismatches, that the shelf space doesn't correspond proportionally to sales and profit outcomes, and this indicating optimization opportunities to improve the efficiency of category management. And as a key findings, pharmacy private label brands have moderate overall awareness among shoppers, with recognition primarily limited to shoppers on pharmacy brands. Smaller and newer private brands have low visibility. And despite this moderate awareness, actual purchases of pharmacy private label brands remains very low. Shoppers tend to buy their preferred pharmacy private labels, what is market specific. Customers' intention to buy private label brands in the future is generally low, also with a very high level of uncertainty. We can see that price is increasingly important, with 51% of shoppers willing to switch pharmacies for better pricing and 27% for better promotions. And awareness of prices themselves has risen to 52%. Importance of pharmacy promotions has increased significantly and reached 59%, especially among young women, adults, and lower and middle income groups and people in specific cities of country of Latvia. And private label has high impact to product category management effectiveness and profitability. In one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in Latvia, the private label brand dominates in sales profit and shelf space allocation, and suggesting a direct correlation between shelf space and brand performance. Yeah, and as I showed that some brands do not have sales and profit outcomes proportional to their shelf space, indicating opportunities for shelf space optimization to increase the category performance. As a recommendation...
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm really sorry for interrupting, but you have 2 minutes of presentation time left.
Yeah. To address low awareness and engagement, pharmacies should invest in targeted marketing and in-store communication, strategies to promote unknown and newly launched private label brands, and to build stronger value proposition for private label brands through quality assurance in unique product features and clearer differentiation from national brands, and stimulate trial of future purchase intent. And maintain competitive, transparent pricing from private labels, implement effective promotions, regularly review and optimize shelf space allocation based on sales and profit metrics to maximize category efficiency, ensuring that high-performing brands receive adequate space, while underperforming brands are reassessed, and use shopper profiles and behavioral insights to inform assortment decisions, promotional planning, and merchandising strategies for improved category management effectiveness. And thank you for your attention.
Okay, so one quick question is that there are 4 parameters: product placement, promotion, and price. So what looks like that the promotion and the price have the most impact. Is that correct?
It has one of the highest. At the same time, let's say this is very important, because without good price and good promotion, basically we will not get sales. but placement and shelf space is third very important, because we can't lose from the space management having, let's say, this dominant position also for placement, in order we are catching also by visibility in the pharmacies.
And also, you mentioned the age and the location. So the age also comes into the play.
Sorry, once again, could you please
The
it's somehow
age.
quite, it's low sound, sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Better. It's better.
The age bracket, the age of the
Yeah.
consumer. I think that's also coming into the mix, I guess, from your presentation, what I get it. Is that true?
Yes, especially in some smaller cities where are people, especially young people, young adults with medium and low income. For them, let's say I have been proposing separate, differentiate strategy and make basically personalized offers.
So in general, this private labeling, right? Who is the governing body? Like, anybody can put any kind of labeling, but there should be some governing body who kind of monitors this, right? In Latvia, or
let's say private label brands, of course, you can develop only when you have certain volume of products which you can order, and then you can decrease the cost of it. And the owner of this governing, it's a retailer basically. But of course, private labels in pharmacy retail depends on the category, has to be registered, and depends, is it is it food supplement or it's cosmetic? It's also different how to say these safety measures and legislation.
So that comes from the government side, that you have to
Yes.
register and approve. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Okay. All right. Good presentation. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you to all the speakers for your presentations. I now request our session chair, Dr. Faisal Kader, to give us his closing remarks.
Yeah, so no, thank you again. All the papers very insightful, very timely, and there's a lot of good topic that we were able to cover. And I really thank each and every speakers and the researchers. So the overall trend, the common theme that I see, that we can use AI, artificial intelligence, and the data manipulation for any kinds of problem that we're trying to solve across the board. So this is very horizontal centric solution that we're working on these days, and also it touches every aspect of it. So this is great, and I'm really delighted to see all this good work for each and every one of you. And thank you again, and hope to see you next time in more research work.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure having you.
Sure.
I sincerely thank all of our authors for their excellent presentations and contributions in this session, and to all our participants to be a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. And on behalf of the whole team, we thank you for the support for this 11th version of this conference and all the previous versions as well. And we will be more than happy to have you in the 12th version in 2027 as well. Quick announcement, all the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. And the publication will be live within 7 to 8 months. So kindly cooperate with the team of ICICT 2026. And I also thank our session chair, Dr. Faisal Kader, for chairing this session. And this is just a small token of our appreciation.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your valuable presence. I kindly request all of you to switch on your cameras for a snapshot of this session. Okay, we are done. So yeah, thank you so much. Stay safe and take care.
For doing such a great job as a moderator. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, sir. You're very welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.